YouTube and hi Facebook family and Instagram family. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a minute since I uploaded a video. I think it was about maybe a week ago I uploaded a video. I wanted to say welcome back to Our Children Matter YouTube channel. So our topic for today that we are talking about is the power of vulnerability. The power of vulnerability. What does vulnerability consist of? The power of vulnerability. The power of vulnerability. Hold on, guys, while I pull up my notes. Give me a second. We did a devotion this morning. I did a devotion with a couple of my friends this morning on the power of vulnerability. So when we talk about vulnerability, some of the questions that we're going to talk about today: is vulnerability an emotion? Is vulnerability a strength? Okay, so let's get down to it. Is vulnerability an emotion? So vulnerability is about emotions. Typically, when we talk about more emotional vulnerability, it has to do with difficult or painful emotions like sadness, shame, anxiety, frustration, etc. But vulnerability means acknowledging your difficult emotions. It's human nature to avoid things that hurt. Okay, so when we hurt things, let me give you an example. Things that we hurt, like sexual abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, suicide, emotional distress, a loved one passed away in your family. Those are different things and painful memories in your life that would cause you to be in a vulnerable state because you don't know where your emotions lie, and you don't know where your emotions will be in that particular setting of being vulnerable, because you're more open, you're more acceptable, accessible. You're more open, you're more vivid, you're more clear when you're in that state. It says, is vulnerability a strength? Let's talk about that. It says vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, and it can be your greatest strength. Vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. Everyone is vulnerable, no matter how much they try to avoid it. That is so true. That is so powerful. We can try to immoralize and annihilate the things that we try to avoid and we try to reject. But no matter what we're facing, or no matter what we're facing day by day, something is always going to be in our way that we cannot avoid. And for me, when my mom passed away from colon cancer 10 years ago, well, it's about to be 10 years, going on 2021, it'll be 10 years, that I was in a vulnerable state. My emotions were up and down, my emotions were high, like the devotion says, you don't really know what state your emotions in. So you have to be careful with those friends and those people that are in those vulnerable positions, and you sometimes have to give them space because they really don't know where they are in their emotions, and also you don't really know what they're going to say. You don't really know what they're going to say in that state of mind, in that thought process. Okay, so you have to be very careful when you're dealing with people that are in vulnerable positions and vulnerable, when their emotions are in a vulnerable position to where they're more open about things. So you have to be careful. Why vulnerability is important. People with a strong sense of love and belonging believe that vulnerability is a necessity. They believe that within their vulnerabilities are the things that make them beautiful. Vulnerability is a key to connection because it is the courage to be open to another human. I really, really do believe that. In my whole heart, I do believe that. I believe that we have a strong sense of belonging and a strong sense of nurturing and a strong sense of being loved, that sometimes vulnerability has to be there. Sometimes we have to be more open with certain things and certain discussions that we may not be welcome to talk about, but it's good to be open and it's good to be vital with some of the things that you are asking or some of the conversations you may be having with your family or your friends. Okay? It says, why do we struggle with vulnerability? Let's look at this. Okay? Why we struggle with vulnerability. Why do we struggle with vulnerability? We'd be ridiculed or deemed unlovable. They judge us, misunderstand us, or abandon us, all terrifying prospects. Vulnerability involves sharing our innermost thoughts and feelings with others in ways that may lead to rejection. That is so powerful. That is powerful. Sharing our innermost thoughts and our feelings with other people, with other friends that are in our lives, may lead to rejection because they might not really want you to be that open. They don't want you to be that open and honest. So you have to look at it in two different ways, because sometimes your friends may say, well, why did you tell me this? Or why did you open why did you open this page of your life to me that makes me think now I don't want to be your friend? So you have to be careful with people and different friends and people in positions in your life who you open up to, because now they know your business. They know everything about you. You didn't put everything out there in the open for everyone to hear, for everyone to know about you. But this is just for me. I don't know about anybody else. But I'd rather be more of a friend of giving advice than taking your business and spreading it and thinking that it's okay to do that when it is not okay to spread people's business. Just because people were being open and honest with you about the situation that they were going through does not give you access to go and to take advantage of them in that vulnerable state. You don't know where their emotions came from. You don't know how they were feeling. You have to be mindful of the fact that this person was kind enough to tell you their personal business, their personal affairs, that what happened to them. And ultimately, then you have those friends that say, well, you know what? I'm going to mind my business. I'm going to do what I need to do and go about my day, go about my routine, go about my life without knowing whatever happened to you. But then you have those friends that feel sympathy and that want to be helpful to you, that want to be there. I know for me that I'm that type of friend. If you have something that's going on with you and I don't know about it, and you just one day open your heart out on your Facebook and you post something that traumatically happened to you, and I look at it and I'm going to say, you know what, well, let me call this friend and see, are they okay? Or if they need some support, if they need a shoulder to lean on, if they need a shoulder to cry on, you be there for that friend. But also you have to be mindful of the fact that when your friend or you is open and honest about the things that they're going through, be mindful of the fact that they're in a vulnerable position. Be mindful of the fact that their emotions are at an all-time high, that they don't know necessarily what emotion or what the state of the situation that they're in, of them telling this information to you. So you always just want to be mindful that vulnerability can also be good, and also vulnerability can be bad, because if you just take their vulnerability and say, oh, I heard this and I heard that, and you opened up to me about it. No, that's taking advantage of their vulnerability. You took advantage. You saw a spot in their life where they were opening up to you the most, and you thought it was okay to just go ahead and talk about it to everybody else. And maybe everybody else was not premated on that information. Maybe she didn't want to tell that information. Maybe he or she didn't. Maybe he or she are dealing with suicide. You never know. So when they're in that vulnerable state, their emotions are at an all-time high. They really don't know where their connection is with being able to be vulnerable. So you have to be careful when talking to people about vulnerability, okay? So that's all that I have for you today, friends. I just wanted to give you guys some updated information. I will be selling t-shirts for my organization next month. The t-shirts are going to be $20 each. If you would like to donate, you can donate through Cash App, or you can inbox me on my Instagram if you would like to support my t-shirt fundraiser. If you would like to support, please do so by inboxing me on my Instagram. Currently, my Facebook has been hacked. I cannot get into my Facebook. I cannot contact Facebook at the moment. If you guys could share this video, share this live, that would be greatly appreciated. I cannot get in contact with Facebook. I have tried emailing them. They have not contacted me back. But, you know, it is what it is. Social media, it is what it is. But I still have my Instagram. My Instagram is abjtheanointedone. If you would like to get in contact with me, it's abjtheanointedone. And I'll actually put my Instagram in my description box below so that you'll be able to get access to my Instagram. Thank you all for watching my YouTube video, and you will get another video this weekend talking about the undeniable truth of forgiveness. That's right, the undeniable truth of forgiveness, because we all know we've had somebody in our lives that we just had to forgive, even though they hurt you, even though the person that did this to you is locked up in jail, or they might have died, or they might have died because of it. You still have to forgive that person. You still have to be able to, if Jesus can forgive us for all the sins that we do, we have to forgive those that do us wrong. If God is able to forgive us, we have to be able to forgive everyone else. That's just the way it goes. So I'm going to be discussing that on my next video this weekend. So make sure you look out for that video. The topic that we're going to be discussing is the undeniable truth of forgiveness. All right, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I love you all, and have a wonderful evening. Bye for now, guys.